Since his record-breaking debut for Barcelona in April 2023, Yamal has been hailed as the next Messi. But how does he really compare to the legend at the same age? Let's take a look. At 16 or 17 years old, Messi hadn't yet made a huge impact at Barcelona. He was still being closely monitored at La Masia, but the coaches already knew they had something special. Once Messi joined Barcelona's first team, however, he exploded. Messi with the ball was unstoppable. Seriously, ask any defender who's played against him how hard it was. They probably won't even answer you. Even Sergio Ramos, one of the best defenders of his generation, couldn't really stop him. Yikes! I guess that's the only way to stop him. If you try to play fair against Messi, this is what you'll get. Dude was just pure magic. He was performing at the highest level year after year. That's why any new young talent from La Masia who shows any signs of what Messi did, whether it's dribbling, scoring, or creating chances, they're immediately called the next Messi. But here's the thing. We've heard this before. Bojan, Deulofeu, Dos Santos, and even Ansu Fati all had the hype when they joined Barca's big team. People were saying, this is the next Messi. But let's be honest, none of them really lived up to that. Now, Yamal is different. We all know there will never be another Messi. He's a once-in-a-lifetime player. But Yamal? He's the closest thing we've seen. People are drawing comparisons, and while that might seem like a stretch, it's not entirely off base. He's that talented. And speaking of comparisons, remember that photo of Lamine, Yamal, and Messi a few years back? Little Lamine, all smiles and wearing that gray Nike hoodie, standing next to the GOAT. It was like a prophecy, right? But let's be real. That photo was just a coincidence. Sure, it's cool, but it doesn't mean Yamal is destined to be exactly like Messi. He's got his own unique style, his own magic. He's got that left-footed dribbling, that low center of gravity, and that knack for finding those killer passes. It's like watching Messi but with a fresh twist, and his journey has been nothing short of remarkable. At just 15 years old, Lamine Yamal was training alongside stars like Lewandowski and Rafinha. Xavi recognized his potential and gave him the opportunity to prove himself. He made his La Liga debut against Real Betis, nearly scoring right away, and his performance against Tottenham in the Joan Gamper Trophy was electric. He assisted one goal and played a key role in two others. It was clear he was ready for the big time. He became the youngest player to start, assist, and score in La Liga. Then came the call-up to the national team. Can you believe he scored on his debut? Barcelona was so impressed that they rewarded him with a massive contract featuring a €1 billion release clause. This kid has a bright future ahead of him. He's the real deal. But with that bright future comes an intense hype. The hype around Yamal was always going to be crazy. It's kind of like what happened with Ansu Fati, Alejandro Balde, and Gavi. They all burst onto the scene really young and started making headlines. People were quick to label Ansu as the next Messi, Gavi as the next Xavi, and Pedri as the next Iniesta. It's a lot of pressure for these young talents coming out of La Masia. However, Yamal is a bit different from the other young stars coming out of La Masia. As a winger rather than a midfielder like Pedri and Gavi, comparisons to Messi feel a bit off. I would say he's more like Bukayo Saka. Yamal is really good at dribbling and creating chances, but he's not your typical winger. He plays like a hybrid, using sneaky ways of dribbling without always needing to touch the ball, making quick cuts and turns to find space. If Yamal can be as good as Bukayo Saka, that would be amazing. Saka's been tearing it up in the Premier League, racking up impressive goals and assists. He's averaged a goal or assist every 100 minutes since the 2021-22 season. If Barcelona had a player like that, they'd be really happy. But let's be real, Messi was in a league of his own. He was a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Yamal is definitely talented, but he's not quite there yet. And if we're talking about numbers, Messi was crazy good, even when he was young. In his first full season, he scored 14 goals and had 3 assists in La Liga. Yamal has done well, but he's still really young. We need to be patient and let him develop. Yamal needs to let go of the pressure to be the next Messi. That's a curse many La Masia players have faced. Bojan Krkić? He was the first to be dubbed the new Messi. He dazzled in the youth teams, breaking records left and right. But once he reached the first team, the weight of expectation was heavy. He struggled to meet the hype and eventually found himself playing in Japan. Bojan even admitted that the pressure pushed him to step away from the Spanish national team. Then there's Giovanni dos Santos, a talented Mexican who joined La Masia at 13. He showed promise and even made his first team debut at 17. But he never quite hit the heights everyone anticipated. Despite some success, including stints at Tottenham and LA Galaxy, he fell short of expectations and retired a few years back. Munir El Haddadi was another one who was hyped up a lot. He was a really good player in Barcelona's youth system and even scored on his first team debut, leading many to believe he was destined to be a big star. However, he couldn't live up to the hype, going on loan to several teams and eventually playing for Las Palmas. Riqui Puig faced similar challenges. Known for his dribbling skills, he played for Barcelona but struggled to score and wasn't suited for a wing role. Xavi recognized he might not become a star at Barcelona, allowing him to move to LA Galaxy. Although he's still young, it seems his chances at the top level are over. Ansu Fati also got hyped a lot early on, but injuries have slowed down his progress. He went on loan to Brighton but has since returned to Barcelona, where fans are hoping he can get back to his best. But Yamal, he stands apart from these players. He's simply better. His dribbling is exceptional, he creates chances effortlessly, and his passing is on point. While he may not be as prolific a scorer as Fati, he's already working on that aspect of his game and showing promise for improvement. What sets Yamal apart is not just his skill, but also his mentality. Messi stayed at the top for so long because he never let the pressure get to him. Yamal is the same way. He's mentally strong and doesn't let the big games bother him. Deco, Barcelona's sporting director, has even said that Yamal is one of the best young talents he's ever seen, highlighting that mental toughness. He steps up for Barcelona and the national team without flinching, no matter how high the stakes are. And you know what? The biggest compliment we can give Yamal is that he could easily play alongside Messi. He's got that special magic we've seen in legends like Neymar, Pedro, Thierry Henry, and Ronaldinho. Each of those guys brought something unique to the table, and Yamal is no different. He's looking to carve out his own identity rather than just copying others. In an interview, he talked about wanting to leave a lasting legacy. While he appreciates the Messi comparisons, he's focused on being remembered for his own talent and hard work. But here's the thing, staying grounded is super important. Yamal has a good attitude about the Messi hype. He's not letting it go to his head. Still, he's just a teenager and needs to keep working hard to improve. His coach Flick has been clear. Yamal is a great player, but there's still a lot to learn. He needs to keep training hard and pushing himself to be the best. After all, champions don't rest, and Yamal knows that. Flick is pretty tough on him too. No special treatment just because he's a big deal now. In fact, Yamal recently got in trouble for being late to a team meeting. Barcelona knows Yamal is starting to shine, but they don't want him to get too caught up in the hype. Flick is just the right coach to keep him grounded and focused on his game. He's tough but fair. Remember how he gave Jamal Musiala a shot at Bayern when he was just 17? He knows how to challenge young players while letting them express themselves. Yamal needs a coach like Flick to help him grow. Flick won't let him get lazy or complacent. He'll keep him on track and improving. That's great news for Barcelona, especially since they're off to a fantastic start this season. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Lamine Yamal could truly fill Messi's shoes, or maybe even surpass him? Share your opinions in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button for more content like this.